programming one titled Introduction to Windows Control with C#.net. So our objective for today is number one, to familiarize the learners to the different tools in the Visual Studio IDE or Integrated Development Environment. Number two, learn how to set up the properties of the object. Number three, create the necessary code for desired event and result for the object. Okay, this is the IDE. Number one is the menu bar. So this is the menu bar. Number two, standard toolbar. It's on the second. Number three, toolbox. So this is our lesson is all about. Number four, form designer. So this is number four. Number five, output windows. So this is the output windows. Number six, solution explorer. So this is the solution explorer for all the forms of the project, forms and classes. Number seven, properties window. So this is the properties windows for all the object in our project. One of the most used tools in the IDE is the message box. So it's a class. Message box class. The systems that Windows form that message box is a static class that is used to show message boxes for prompting, confirmation, and warning users. So every time you use it, there will be a prompt to save files or to inform the users or message a warning to the users. So you can view this usually even in our different application that you're using, even in Microsoft Office or Photoshop or any other relevant software in your operating system. To show a message box, simply call the show method of the message box class. So the class is ready-made and you can call it anytime. Just show just by simply running the properties. The simplest version of show method is the one that accepts a string message as an argument. So if it says a string message, it must be text. Okay, this is the sample of a message box. The first one is the most simplest way, using the message box.show class, calling the string hello world. It will prompt the message box hello world with a button OK. The second one is a message box with two parameters, hello world and help. Help is the caption. Number three, there are three parameters. One is the hello world string. Next is the help title. And third is the message box buttons. In this instance, we are using the OK, cancel buttons. So I will show you the samples in the IDE. Okay, so this is our Visual Studio. For your information, you can download Visual Studio online. So it's free as long as you're using it for education. So here's the sample. So we will be using a button to call our message box. So I will drag a button here and we shall mimic the first example. So the first example is the hello world. So the parameter here is just one. So by clicking the button, okay, wait for the code. Okay, we're in the coding screen. So we shall call our class message box. Oh, sorry. Okay. Once you're typing, the IntelliSense will show the different categories. So we shall call the properties that show. As mentioned, we will put a string or text. So we shall type our word hello world. So to end it, we'll use the semicolon. So this is our simple code message box using the properties that show the parameters hello world. So to run it or to compile, we shall press the start button or press F5. Okay, building. Once complete, the forms will show on our screen. Okay, the first run are usually takes time. So this is our Windows form, and we're using a button to click the event of message box. So press click, and here's our message box. So here's the string hello world. So that's the example of message box with one parameter. So next in our sample, we shall use two parameters. The first one is the text and the other one is the title. So uh, the code is message box dot show string hello world then string health. So to familiarize with the message box controls or class, I usually type it manually again. So to familiarize yourselves on the class. Hello world. Then to put the title, press comma to add the caption. So there will be a information down below about the parameters that you can put. So we will put title. Then to end the class, put semicolon. Then press Ctrl S to save the code that you have encoded. And press F5 or press start again. So building. Okay. As you can see, in the second compilation or compiling, it's faster. than the first. So we shall click the button event of the button, and there's our hello world. So there is a title up. Okay. Now stop the uh, program. Then we shall try the third example. So in our example, the class message box that show properties has put three parameters. The first one is hello world string. The second is help for the title. And third is the message box buttons. So message box buttons can trigger any other controls. So in our example, we shall be using OK and cancel. So let's code again. So remove it again. Why are we removing it? To familiarize ourselves in the code that show hello world title. Then we'll be using message box buttons. As you type, there are many uh, parameters and controls being shown for easier coding. So I'll be selecting message box buttons that okay or let me check again. Okay and cancel. So we'll be using okay and cancel, the third one. So there are many buttons that you can pick like abort, retry, ignore, or just a single one. Okay. Then you can select okay, cancel, retry, cancel, yes, no, and yes, no, cancel. So we'll be using okay, cancel. This is useful when you are trying to create an event like save records for the database or delete record for the database or any other functions that you deem necessary for your application. Okay, put the semicolon, press save or control S, run the program again. So building, so here's the button. Let's click the event and there you go. The message parameters, hello world or string, then the title, then the buttons, okay, cancel. So that is for the message box class. Okay, so that are these are the examples of